What is the address of your emergency? Is that correct?
That's correct.
What's your name?
My name is Greg.
What's the phone number you're calling from? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
My wife passed out. She was in bed, and I woke up with her on the ground, and now she just passed out again, and we don't know what's going on. I almost thought she had a heart attack or something. I don't know. So it's not your chest, you said? She said it's not her chest, but she's like, she had extreme neck pain, she said, and she's having a heart. I mean, she literally just passed out, and I couldn't get her to respond.
Okay, are you with her now?
I am. I'm holding her up right now.
Okay, how old is she?
She's 54.
Is she awake?
Yeah. Yeah, she is, but she's having a hard time talking.
Okay, is she breathing?
She is, but very hard.
Okay.
Baby, are you...
Okay. Is she breathing completely normal?
No, she's breathing heavily.
Is she responding normally?
Jennifer,
Yeah.
Can you respond?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Jennifer
What's your last name?
Willits.
Do you know what the day today is?
It's Sunday.
Okay.
It's Sunday.
Is she changing color?
Yeah, she's very pale. She was complaining. She said she woke up. She woke up with really bad neck pain, like terrible neck pain, and she was sitting on the edge of the bed, like trying to stretch it out or something. And then I just heard a wham and got up, and she was laying flat face on the ground next to the bed. And just, she's really nauseous, and it's like, I've just never seen her like this.
Does she have a history of heart problems?
None. She's healthy. I mean, we just walked 5 miles yesterday.
Okay, I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do next. Just reassure her to help us.
I don't know how I'm going to get to the door. Baby, I got to get to the door. Can you get up?
Yeah, but...
That's okay.
It's
Just
like...
reassure that help is on the way. From now on, don't let her have anything to eat or drink. It might make her sick or cause further problems. And just let her rest in the most comfortable position and wait for help to arrive.
I'll go unlock the front door, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that.
Can I leave you for a second?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Okay. All right, I'm going to go unlock the front door. Oh, she is healthy. I've never seen anything like this.
Yes, sir.
Oh, gosh, I'm glad our daughter's at Fred's house right now.
I want you to watch
Okay. Baby, I'm back. Okay. What'd you say?
I want you to watch her very closely. If she becomes less awake and vomits, quickly lay her on the side. And before responders arrive, please put any pets away, gather any medications, turn on the outside light, and have someone...
Yeah, I just turn on the outside light.
Paramedic, thank you. If she gets worse in any way, call us back immediately for further instructions. Do you feel okay to hang up with me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I do.
Yes, sir. Just let us know if you need anything at all.
Yeah, I'm looking. Okay, thank you.
Thank
all
you,
right,
sir. Bye-bye.
So today's podcast rosary will be Kelly Green. That is the color I'm making today while we have a very special conversation. We did not plan on recording a show today necessarily, but in light of the last 12 hours, we thought, hey, why not? There might be some gold here. I don't know.
So here's what I recommend. I will say this. As we record this, it is 3:45 in the afternoon. 12 hours ago, I woke up to the sound of you hitting the ground. And a few minutes later, I thought you were dead. I honestly thought...
That's a heck of a way to start a show.
A few minutes later, I thought you were dead.
Okay, obviously.
So now you can go do the J.J. Abrams.
I am not dead. Thank the Lord. I am here. I feel just wobbly and exhausted, but good.
So now we can tell the story.
So
now we can tell the story. You woke up.
It was like around, it's just sometime after 3 a.m, figures that's just when weird things happen to people in the middle of the night.
Well, and actually, before you tell the story, you're right. That is when weird things happen. And we could talk about praying at the 3 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
But I think one of the other things that's kind of pertinent, because we've been recording shows kind of out of order, and this is, we're recording this one after a couple of other shows that you haven't seen yet. Mm-hmm. But on the show that was just released, we actually, the last one that you would have seen and heard, we talked about death scenarios.
Yes.
Right? If God forbid something were to happen to you, or God forbid something were to happen to me,
yes, how
would you and I deal with that? And so I think that that's appropriate to say that was a conversation. In November, we're remembering souls, as we're coming to the end of the year, praying for souls. We should be thinking about death. And I even I think I titled it or subtitled the last episode, Memento Mori, remember you will die. And it's just strange that we had that conversation, and I almost wish that we had waited for the conversation, or had waited to use that title, because it would be even more appropriate here, because all I have thought about today is our mortality, and your mortality in particular, and how close I genuinely feel like I came to losing you, even though now we know. Okay, so I wanted to make a connection.
Okay.
And so it's not
That's
a direct continuation of our discussion, but it definitely ties in, and it just makes me feel like that's a Holy Spirit thing that we didn't plan to talk about that before, and so now here we are, and now we have a reason to talk about it.
Yeah, I kind of consider myself to be a really healthy female. I love walking with you. I was just telling you the other day how much it means to me that we are at a point in our lives where we can go on a 5-mile walk in the mornings, as we kind of start our days.
The fact that we can make it 5 miles.
Yeah, and I think we're doing great. We're well acclimated to walking that distance. So it is not a laborious physical struggle for me to do this. It is easy. In fact, this last walk, I felt like I could have kept going. It was so great. And we've been very careful with our eating. So I'm a healthy 54-year-old female, I'm pretty proud of that. Thanks be to God. It's, definitely, it's not all me. My life is in the Lord's hands, like everybody's is.
I'm still a relatively healthy 53-year-old.
Yes. Isn't that nice? Enjoy that for a few more days. And then all of a sudden, around 3 a.m. this morning, I was pulled out of sleep by this severe neck pain that was starting at the base of my skull and just radiating down and just disappearing into my trapezius somewhere. But it was the whole back of my neck. And I just woke up going, whoa, what is happening in my neck right now? This is terrible. This is not a little crick in your neck that you can get from sleeping wrong, which I actually had that 2 weeks ago. And it took about 3 to 5 days for that to finally go away. So I knew that this was not that. This was not a recurrence of just, sleeping on a wrong, incorrectly on a pillow with bad posture. So I, in my newly awakened state, thought I'll just get rid of this pillow and just try to lay flat on the mattress to try to bring about stable. I have to stabilize this neck and see if I can give a relief to it. And I'm just assessing my own neck pain. I'm just trying to figure out how do I get this pain to go away? I want to go back to sleep. That's all I want to do. I don't want to be awake feeling this awful right now with my neck pain. And it was just inflamed for whatever reason. And so I'm trying different range of motion moves, looking to the left, to the right, up, down.
And
you're just asleep.
I'm sound asleep. I have no idea. It's no idea this is going on.
Right. And it's completely dark in the bedroom. I don't need light to do these little simple, mini assessments of myself. I know where I am. I know my surroundings. So I'm just laying there in bed. And then I felt compelled to sit up and try a few shoulder shrug rolls, that kind of thing. And I just wanted to see if sitting up would maybe give me a little relief on my neck. I'm just, again, still assessing everything. And again, it's still dark in the room. And now I'm just sitting on the edge of my bed, kind of facing our bedroom window. Our little nightstand, my nightstand, is just off to my right. And I'm like praying. You know, that's usually what I do. If I'm woken up by pain, I'm like, I am going to call upon the name of the Lord right now. Jesus, I need you. I don't know what this is. I just know I need your help right now for this pain. And then it is what it is. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to sit here, collect myself. And all of a sudden I got hit with a wave of nausea. And I remember thinking, am I nauseous right now?
Oh, at this point, I thought that would happen.
No.
Okay.
I'm still.
Okay.
This is like the last thing I remember from my little mini neck assessment, trying to get relief, you know. And I'm like, whoa, like I think I'm feeling nauseous. And that was my last conscious thought.
Yeah.
Fast forward an unknown number of minutes. We are assuming it was just a couple of minutes.
If that.
We don't know. But that's when Greg heard the thud.
Yeah.
And I had no knowledge that I lost consciousness and fell forward from my position and went straight down. And I was on my face, like literally like laying prostrate on the ground, face completely into the carpet.
And arms not in front. Like you didn't try to catch yourself.
No.
Your arms were
down by my side.
Were to your side.
It was kind of an unnatural and a very disturbing way to sort of lay down. You know.
You don't lay down flat on your face with your arms on your side.
Exactly.
You brace yourself. You brace your head. You do something to help.
Yeah, and I'm not aware of anything.
Did you hear that whistle that just came out of my mouth?
No, I didn't. I wasn't aware of anything. All I know is I heard you yelling. And then I was aware that the lights were on and you were yelling at me, and I'm just now being pulled out of the state of my lack of consciousness, and I'm trying to like understand what you're yelling at me for, and you're telling me you're on the floor. You're on the floor.
Oh, did I say that? I don't remember that.
You did.
I might have. I remember a lot. I don't. But it was, all day long, certain filler memories have floated up to the surface. Yeah. What for me? I was sound asleep and said this to the doctor at the hospital. I don't know what woke me up. If it was, I feel like I heard a noise, but would be enough to wake you up, right? It wasn't like a bam.
Right.
And when you look, at the space that you just described, there's a window ledge right there, and there's like a kind of a cabinet, fake fireplace thing that we have in our bedroom. With
sharp corners, which is how they are made.
And your head went right in between.
Yeah.
And again, I say this without any snark or whatever. It was I feel like your guardian angel guided my head, because you could have walked out of this with a massive gash, facial injury or head injury, a head lack. Yeah, because we've been watching too many ER reruns.
Yeah.
You fell. I heard that boomf, and I don't know if I was in the middle of a dream. I remember, and it's not uncommon for me to call out or yell out.
Yeah.
If I get startled when I sleep, I'll yell in my sleep. And so I'm yelling something, and then I don't know if I reached over, but somehow I knew you weren't in bed.
Yes, you felt you did not feel my body next to you.
And then I yelled more, and when you didn't respond, that got me scared. And then that made me then I jumped up and I turned on the light. And I'm yelling again because I still don't see you in bed. And then that's when I sat up and I turned around and I looked over and I saw you face flat on the ground, not moving.
Yeah.
Not moving at all.
I mean, you don't know what's happening at all in this moment. I just know I was very confused and disoriented. And then I was immediately just trying to get up.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I stood upright, like my body was continuing its distress protocol with a lot of times your bowels, everything just wants to go. And I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. I said, bathroom.
And what I didn't understand by that, I knew I needed to get you to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you needed to go to the bathroom or if you needed to get to the bathroom so you could vomit.
Right.
And so I was trying to figure out, okay, do I just get you a bucket
Pressure,
right now?
I
And
feel
a bucket,
pressure, yeah.
Could you imagine if I ran out of the room and got you a bucket because I thought you wanted to vomit?
What do you want me to do with this?
But you needed to go to the bathroom. Well,
No, it was like my bowels needed to clear out. And so I went straight
that might be
to,
TMI for some people, but that's what happens.
This is just what happens.
Right.
This is just the medical reality. So now
for 54-year-old women.
I'm on the toilet, literally, and my body is just going through its evacuation methods.
And we didn't run to the bathroom.
No.
You
I had to hold on to you.
You were holding on. You were very wobbly. I was trying to figure out how do I lower you onto the toilet.
Yeah.
Get you, and you're on the toilet, and when you are in pain, while you have a relatively high threshold for pain, and I think we all do this, it's easy to start to panic. You talk a lot, and then you breathe very heavily and start panting.
Yeah,
and
that's
I was,
like
and I
what
was
you call the hyperventilating.
Yeah, and I'm hearing and what, and I don't understand, and why are we? And I'm hearing you talk like that, and I'm like, baby, you just you need to slow down, and so you quickly went to the bathroom, and you're sitting there, and you're just trying to catch your breath, and then all of a sudden.
I apparently went somewhere else.
Hold on. All of a sudden, I'm like trying to kind of keep you upright, and I see you arch your back somewhat. You arched your back, like pushed out your chest, and I saw you take like 2 or 3 quick gasps. You were, and then your eyes glazed entirely over. And glazed is not the right word.
They were fixed. I was just staring ahead.
They were fixed.
But they were open.
Hold on. They were open, fixed, unmoving, not blinking, and the life left your eyes. I watched as life left your eyes. I don't know how else to explain it. There was no awareness. It was it's like you see enough movies where someone dies and they're staring at the camera. It's like it was that look. And you fell. You didn't fall. You slumped backwards more, still up, and your arms were completely at your side, shoulders slumped, and you just were staring like in my direction, but not at me. Like you weren't making eye contact, but you were staring kind of at me, like you're staring at a part of me. And I'm looking at you, and I'm yelling at you, and I'm like, Jennifer, Jennifer, Jennifer. And I've reached out and touched your chest. And I'm not feeling any breathing. Now, I'm not a medical person, but I'm like, I didn't feel your chest move. I didn't see any movement from you. And I don't know what compelled me to do this. To pray, I didn't have any words. And I just put my hand on your forehead and clasped the top of your head. And I just said, I was like, I didn't know. I was like, do I rebuke? What do I rebuke? I don't know what I'm rebuking. What am I?
Right.
Am I renouncing something? I don't know what to renounce. I'm like, and I just said, Jesus Christ. And then I realized, and then no, at that point, I think I said out loud. I think I said, because in a panic, I talked to myself. And I'm like, did she just die? Did she just die? Did she just die?
Right.
Did she? And I'm saying, did she just die? And then I'm thinking, what am I supposed to do? And you're not moving. You are staring at me with wide eyes. And in my mind, I thought you just had a heart attack.
Or my heart just stopped. For whatever
what I
reason.
saw in my brain, she just had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And she,
some event.
And she just died like right before my eyes because you were immobile. You were not breathing. You were not moving. You looked dead to me, and I didn't know what to do. And so now I'm like, I don't sleep with my phone in the bedroom. It's in the kitchen. And so you
had to leave me.
I had to leave you on the toilet. And so I take you and you're already leaned back against the bowl or whatever the top part is. And I just made sure that you were steady, and I just ran out of the room. And I think I yelled out, "Jesus Christ, have mercy upon me." Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ, have mercy upon me. And then running back, I'm pretty sure I said, or if I thought it, I think I said it out loud. I'm like, "Dear Jesus, please don't take her. I'm not ready for her to go yet. I'm not ready for her to go yet." And by this time I had my phone, and I'm calling 911. And the woman answered, and I'm just giving every bit of information I can. And at this point, you took a shudder.
My hand or something.
Yeah, I think maybe your hand moved slightly, but you took a shudder, like you went, like you were taking the breath. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long you were out. I want to say 2 minutes, but it could have been 10 seconds.
Right.
All
Time
of what
is
I just
so
described.
Hard. Right.
I have no idea what just happened. But you finally started to wake up.
Yeah, I felt like my vision start to return.
No, and then you were saying I can only see 50%. And I'm like, oh, she's having a stroke. She's having a stroke.
Right, yeah.
And I'm trying to explain this to a person. And then she's like, does she know her name? And I'm asking you, what's your name? What's your last name? And then she's like, do you know, ask her if she knows what day it is.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I remember feeling
is?
so proud of myself going, Sunday, it's Sunday.
And then she's going to ask her if she knows the airspeed velocity of a swallow. And I'm like, what, African or European? She goes, I don't know. Then she screamed. And I just... but I'm trying to keep you balanced. Yeah. And then I know that now paramedics are on the way. And neither one of us are really dressed. No, I'm running around the house in my underwear.
We are in our bedtime clothes.
And then she's like, I'm like, I'll go unlock the front door because I'm like the bathroom's on the back side of the house and I have to go unlock the door. I'm like, are you okay? And you said yes. I'm like, I don't know if I trust you. But then I ran. I mean, I'm just sprinting everywhere. The cats are like, what's going on, man? And so I ran to the front and turned on the light and then unlocked it and ran back to you. And then the whole time I'm talking to the woman on the phone. And she's giving me instructions now. She's like, if you're she's reading off of a script. If she vomits, then turn her on her side. And, and I'm like, is she vomiting? Did I tell you that she's vomiting? Because she's not vomiting. No, I'm, And I just was, it was.
But you got me. I was able to get off the toilet.
I got you. Yeah, because once we knew that they were coming, I helped you get your pants on, or your pajama pants on.
Yeah. And that was it. Just pajama
and got
pants.
Got you back onto the bed, laying down flat. And then by that time, I ran to the front, and
I feel like they were right there.
They were there.
They were there so fast.
And you call the paramedics for something like this. I mean, there was a full fire truck in front of our house and the ambulance.
And by now, it's like, well, you called 911 at 3:50.
Yeah, 3:50. My phone said 3:58 because I didn't even know. And fortunately, when I went to bed last night. The pants I was wearing, I just threw them onto the chair next to the bed. Yeah. And so I had pants because I couldn't figure out how to dress myself. I'm going to let Marty in because he's meowing. But
yeah. But then the paramedics, I was aware that they arrived and they asked me, can you walk to the stretcher? Because they didn't bring the stretcher all the way into the room, but it was right outside our door. And I was able to with assistance, and I could do it. But it's weird. I remember like my speech was sluggish. It wasn't slurred necessarily, but I remember it took effort to speak, and I felt very slow, like I was coming out of some deep general anesthesia. So like if you've ever been put under.
We just had a changing of the cat guard
yeah.
for those who are watching. If you're listening and you just heard a bunch of noise, I was letting one cat out and another in.
And so I was able to get on the stretcher, and super nice paramedics asking me tons of questions, and I just answered to the best of my ability. And so then you were still like, I just felt so bad for you, but I felt like I could do nothing. I was just there barely, just trying to like be a good patient and get me attention and tell me what happened and why did this happen to me. And I knew that it just felt like I just fainted, and this was just like a syncope event. But why did I have it? Why did I wake up in the middle of the night with that weird pain? And then
the pain didn't
lost
go away.
consciousness.
The pain didn't go away.
As soon as you got me conscious again from the floor in the bedroom, I was like, oh, the pain is still, like, it felt worse. It was like, and I knew I was in a bad position. It's like, oh,
and the doctor confirmed it was worse. You probably have whiplash.
Yeah, and now it just feels like whiplash.
Because when you went forward, you fell off the bed. Your feet don't even touch the floor from the bed. You went forward, and then you went down, and so it pushed your
it was like
your
a
neck
front
forcefully
trauma.
backward. Boom. So you do probably have a level of whiplash. And right now you have that. I mean, I could probably show it with another camera. You have a big lidocaine patch all on your neck and going down to your back. They gave you a steroid shot. They gave you something else.
Just for pain. Anything.
And so that's going to wear off. And I mean, you're coming up on in about 3 or 4 hours. That thing's going to wear off, and you're going to have to take something else. But
the doctor, everybody.
So we get to the hospital.
Yeah, the ER.
I follow along, and because we don't have insurance, we're part of a health sharing thing for emergency things, and we're hoping it will cover some of this.
Just let him. Why?
Because he doesn't know what he wants.
He's.
And now that he came in, he saw what's going on.
Okay, so now you're going to let the cat out again. Okay, that's it. They don't come back in.
They'll leave us alone now.
All right.
Lily's not home, so she doesn't even know what's happened. None of the kids. We haven't even had a chance. We're telling you.
Well, we're recording
this and telling you before our children even have a chance to learn what
But by
happened.
the time you hear this, everyone would have been informed. It's just
So
we're alone right now in the house.
We get to the hospital.
And you're right there. I felt like as soon as we parked,
that's what I was going to say.
You were there.
We went to a hospital that's further away from our house. There's actually a hospital closer to the house.
Yeah.
But we had to go to this further one.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that's going to do for the EMS bill.
That might make that one a little higher, but it's like I can't worry about it. It's all part of the same event.
But it's so interesting. So many things come into this. And we get to the hospital, and they get you stabilized. You had the head CT, you had the chest X-ray, all these things, and ultimately you're fine.
Yes, but I want to say one thing. You were not there yet, okay? So
because I had to follow behind in the truck
and then park and all that. So the paramedics got me wheeled into my triage room, and when they wheeled me in, they said, "Okay, we're going to transfer you from this stretcher where you were removed from the ambulance on the stretcher and onto the triage bed." Okay. And then I just sort of smiled. I'm like, man, I'm so tempted to say, on my count, 1, 2, 3, and then move the patient, because that's what we see all the time on ER. We have watched 7 seasons worth of ER, and we know how this works. When the paramedics bring in the patient, the attending physician will always say, "Okay, on my count, 1, 2, 3," and then they relocate the patient, and then they begin treating him. And so when I said that, the paramedic looked at me and he smiled. He goes, "Go ahead, say it." I'm like, "On my count, 1, 2, 3," and they relocated me to the triage bed, and I'm so proud of myself. That was so fun. I'm really sleepy right now, and that's really all I have felt ever since this whole thing is just extreme exhaustion. But the neck pain was terrible the whole time I was there, because I realized now I'm dealing with the fallout of the fall. And all being banged up from falling. I mean, it doesn't take much. I mean, if you fall at our age, there is a consequence. You will feel something.
Yeah, you're going to
aches
probably
and
feel
pain,
it worse
bruises,
tomorrow.
And so I'm
not,
fall from the position I was to go straight on.
I'm not looking forward to tonight, to be honest with you.
I'm nervous about tonight.
I'm scared of it. I don't know how to. You need to just take like 4 ibuprofen.
I guess.
Precaution.
Yeah.
No, not I guess.
Yeah.
You need to take 4 ibuprofen precautionarily before we go to bed. We don't have to go into all the details. I think we said the core
the main
of it.
Thing, yeah, I'm fine.
But
I'm fine.
I think the thing that's most important. going back to the conversation from last week and just talking about, it's like it was one thing to talk a hypothetical of, God forbid something were to happen to you, what would we do about this or that or everything else? And when we got to the hospital, I couldn't stop touching you. Like I had to have a hand. I had to be holding your hand. I had to be holding your arm. And believe it or not, we came home because as we're recording this, it's Sunday. We got home at like 9:30 in the morning. And
talk about a fast.
Yeah, it was fairly.
Like 3.5 hours.
No, well, total, if you count it all out, is really about 5.5.
Okay, well, the drive time.
Well, from the moment that you first had your feeling to everything else.
Oh, okay. From that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we missed the mass that we typically go to, and we came home and we ate some breakfast, and we just sort of.
I was hungry. I was ready.
We rested a little bit, and then we knew that there was a later mass, and so we were like, you felt good enough, and we just said, well, let's just go, and then we did. We went to mass.
And
but even at mass, I had to keep
yeah.
holding your hand, and I'm like, I kept reaching out, and I'm just like, it's like I have to keep checking that you're really there. And the thing that I think, following up from last week's show, I think we like to think that we're ready, not for our own death, but if we had to lose someone, that we'd be able to handle it. And it was, there's a level of being a Catholic, of being a Christian, of detachment of things and people. And we are dust, and from, we will return to dust. And our lives are not our own. And the people in our lives are not our own. All of this is gift. And God uses the people in our lives and uses us in the lives of other people so that we can help each other get to heaven. And in the middle of this, one of the things you said, and I don't remember even where we were at this point, but you had the mental capacity to say, I need to offer this up for something. I need to offer it up for something. And then you named a person that you're to offer it up for.
We're in the triage room.
To have that thought, but it made me realize, we as I said, we named the last show Memento Mori, remember that you will die. I don't know what the Latin is for, and so will everyone else. And I know everyone will die, but I guess I've always had in my head that I'm going to go first.
I wonder if that's what all husbands kind of want. I don't want to be here without my wife.
And
I got to go first.
I've been haunted all day by that look on your face where I honestly thought I lost you. Even if it was just for a few seconds, if it was less than a minute, as I was running around the house in my underwear, I thought I just lost my wife of 29 years. And I thought I was a widower all of a sudden. And it was, you hear about, you do not know.
Right.
That fast. Because you were sitting there on the toilet 1 minute, and then all life left your eyes the next. Mm-hmm. And that sudden change in your face, I've never experienced anything so sudden in my life. I've had car accidents where things change just like, but to see you within seconds go from, trying to explain what's happening to no longer being there with me. Your body was there, but nothing else was.
Yeah. And I had, and that is so surreal to me. Like what the body will do, one, to protect itself, and just what it's capable of doing in a high stress situation, a physical stressful situation.
But what lesson are we supposed to learn in that? I mean, it's like, because that's what I'm struggling with.
Out of control. I mean, like I don't have control.
But what lesson? But what?
Yeah.
What do you do with that? Right? It's like because there has to be some good that comes out of this.
Oh, sure.
Right? There has to be some good.
I'm grateful for my life.
We tell this story. Well, and see, that's the thing. It's like
I'm so grateful for my life.
I'm so upset right now. It's like I'm really trying hard not to be upset, and all day long. I mean, how many times have I cried today? Right? It's like I'm like, I'm like, great. Like I need another trauma. You know?
And now, like, honestly, I do feel traumatized by it.
I feel very traumatized by what happened this morning.
Because when we got home, I asked you, can you show me what I looked like on the floor? I mean, I'm trying to see myself. I'm trying to see what you saw. And I'm trying to imagine what position did I land in? And then when you showed me the way I looked, I was like, oh, no way. That is disturbing and creepy and wrong.
It was.
And I was like, I just felt so bad for you, like what I put my husband through. And not that I did any of it on purpose, but I felt like, oh no, he's never going to get out of therapy. He's going to be in therapy for the rest of his life.
This is how much it upset me. The Falcons game just ended 15 minutes ago.
Stop.
I didn't even watch the Falcons game today.
Well, doesn't take much to knock.
That's how upset I've been. But listen, I think I want to find God in the middle of this, right? And
well, God was with us. He's always with us. And so I felt like...
Well, you said something. Hold on. You said something interesting because coming home from church, I said I feel kind of, and you said it too, that you felt kind of silly and embarrassed by what happened.
Yeah.
And I felt kind of silly and embarrassed because I thought that you had died.
Yeah. When you look at the diagnosis that the hospital sends you home with, it's just like, oh, syncope, fainting, facial injury from falling.
Yeah.
It seems so small.
But you said something.
Yeah, I know what I said.
What, can you repeat it?
Yeah,
I mean,
said,
I paraphrase it.
God knows. Only God knows, and you, Greg Willits, knows what you saw. The reality of what you saw was that, for whatever reason, it looked like I was no longer there. And God is very capable of allowing these things to happen for our good. I don't know. We might not find out for maybe another 10 years, like another fruit of today. But God knows. And he's more than capable as our creator to put my life right back in there, right in my body, with no lasting scientific evidence for a doctor to see to corroborate what you saw.
And so that actually, in a weird way, comforts me and upsets me at the same time. Because maybe I did see you die.
But our life is always
I don't know I don't know what happened.
Right.
But you're right. God in his infinite mercy, the ultimate universal physician, can reverse all that.
Like, I don't care what the hospital says. I know what I felt. You know what you saw.
So the biggest takeaway that I got is that life is short. We're moving to Borneo and be surfers.
Life is definitely short. I'm still processing. I know I'm probably going to have a good cry at some point. I almost lost it at Mass.
But you are fine.
I am fine.
As far as you know right now, as far as the doctor said, you didn't get a prescription even.
No, nothing.
It's just go home.
It's like, what just happened to me? It all felt like this terrible dream, nightmare.
They call it just an episode. You had some sort of an episode.
Some kind of syncope episode. But what was weird is my heart rate was super low. And the paramedic in the ambulance said, is your heart rate normally? Is this your normal? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what number that means right now. Like, what?
Yeah. And
he told me, and I'm like, oh, that is kind of low. And so now they're like, well, maybe you should have a heart rate monitor just to track yourself because, you were able to talk to Catherine, and thank goodness.
Our friend Catherine, who's a nurse.
Yeah, so she was able to call while we were still in the triage room and give some wonderful advice, things to look for, things about what she has seen in the ER about what's happening to women. Like, for some reason, women could literally be asleep and their heart rate can plummet to the 30s while they're sleeping. They have no knowledge of that. So something happened that made my heart rate plummet. that's what made me go down. It wasn't a vagal. I wasn't. I mean, it was just like I was down. It's like, why did my heart rate drop?
Because I didn't call the kids because they wouldn't have been able to do anything. But Catherine, being a nurse, I actually tried to call Catherine. Immediately rang the voicemail. Called Mac, voicemail. So this is like at whatever time, 4:30 in the morning at this point. And when I called Mac then, and I got his voicemail, I left a message. I should ask him to forward me the message. And
you were probably beside yourself. You panicked.
It was a panic voicemail, and I'm like, how do you say this without making them panic? But I mean, these things happen. I don't have a lesson to share that for the world. I know that I am very thankful for my spouse, and I also realize that I also need to detach more. I need to be prepared better than I am to give back to God what He has blessed me with. I like to think, part of consecration is that all my possessions belong to Mary. All of the things that are in my life belong to her for the sake of her Son to use and dispose of as she sees fit for the glory of her Son, Jesus Christ. I'm not as separated as I thought I was.
Yeah. And I actually had that same thought today. I was like, wow, this messed up Greg today. And I thought, I need to get out of the house and work more. I need to we need to have a little more separation so that maybe you can handle my separation better. It's like, I don't know.
You're gone enough that
I know. It was so scary, guys. It was just a scary experience.
There's no lesson. There's no scripture reference. There's nothing. That's their story. Pray that it never comes back again like that.
I mean,
but
you know what? You handled it. You did it. You handled a very stressful situation. You got me the help I needed. And look at us. We're here right back in the chair, right back at our microphones.
I got to say.
Talking.
So we get back from the hospital and I'm exhausted. And we eat and then I want to go lay down, and we decided that we'd go to the 12:45 mass. It's like, okay, so I have a little bit of time. I want to go lay down. You want to go straighten your hair. You went into the bathroom, and you have your flat iron, and I'm like, baby, if there's ever a day for bad hair, it's today.
I hear you. I understand.
I'm like, you have a neck injury. You probably have whiplash, and now you're going to hold your arm up above your head to straighten it. And I just went, and I'm like,
vanity, vanity.
And I just said, you know what? I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to lay down in bed, and I can see you, and I'm just going to see how long I can stay awake. And I did what I
heard you snore at some point.
And as soon as if it's during the day, as soon as I go, that's it. It's like I got like a 90-second nap. Here's
I had two thoughts that I felt were my justification for just styling my hair, because it's like, if I do this now, I'm good for the week. Like, I literally just do it once and I'm good. So I need it, and I have the benefit of painkillers in me right now, so it doesn't hurt to do it.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to get this chance.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
I did it while I felt good.
I have clippers to clip the side of my hair, but I will every couple of weeks I go the long distance and I'll shave completely, because then I can go 2 full weeks and I don't have to do anything with my hair.
It's a little bit of upfront time and labor for big returns.
I'll shave it down to the scalp with, so I get it.
Okay. But
we need to get better about wrapping up on these shorter episodes.
Yes, I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who supports the work that we do. I believe that there's a meaning somehow that will come out, a correlation between the work that we do with Rosary Army and what we experienced today. I don't know what it is, but thank you to those of you who pray for our ministry, pray for our marriage, pray for our family. And we just, I'm very appreciative of that. Yeah. I don't know if these, anyway, you can tell I'm trying to connect dots that aren't ready to be connected yet.
And we still like I said, we're still processing ourselves. But by the time you see this, we'll be even better.
So the green rosary,
yes.
Which you didn't get very far on.
No.
So are we actually going to give that one away for now, or are you going to wait until the next one?
I'll continue this rosary on our next podcast. So when it completes, it becomes eligible for a giveaway.
So what I'll say is this. For whatever episode that you're working on a rosary, so even if it takes 2 episodes, if you leave a comment for either one of those 2, you're eligible to win that rosary that Jennifer's making. So leave a comment on this one if you're watching the video, or even if you're not listening, or if you're listening, jump over to YouTube and just leave a comment. You don't even have to watch the video. Go over there and leave a comment on this episode or on the next one, and then we'll do a drawing and we'll give that one away. We did do the drawing for one of the last ones, but that will be announced on a future episode when we actually did the drawing. We got to get better about that. We're working on it. Hey, give us a break.
Don't worry about it.
We were at the hospital today, so don't. Thank you for being here. I'm going to wrap it up. Make them,
pray them,
give them away. God bless, folks.